during the internship, what are you guys doing on here?
We're sitting in on groups, and eventually we got to facilitate groups. We had education that talked about alcoholism, addiction, group therapy, different modes of therapy, different types of addiction, and really gave us 500 hours of education. Oh. So we got 500 hours of education, so we were able to sit for the exam. And then we had to get 2,500 hours of work experience. So while I was doing my internship, I took on 20 hours a week extra to work on the adolescent unit so I could start to build my work hours to sit for the test. So I rented a room in Albany, New York, or Albany area, actually Schenectady, New York, mm-hmm. and I did the internship, and then I worked on the adolescent unit. I was able to afford my rent and my food, and I did all of this on my own with the help of Yale University and some churches, where I wrote a letter, and I talked about what I was going to do, and I needed basically some money to live. So there were people who made donations to me, and I went through that 13-month internship and was able to just work part-time and be able to afford to live and get through. And then eventually I moved to New York City and got my first job. And my first job was actually in a therapeutic community.
Wow.
Yeah.
So, okay, so you go through the process of the addiction and then the process of recovery, and you get called back in through alumni services on, to get into the field as
mm-hmm.
a counselor. Was there a moment in there where you realized, this is exactly what I want to do?
Well, I think I knew what I wanted to do way before I started doing it. Because when I was in junior high school and high school, mm-hmm. the only thing that I wanted to do, the coolest job I thought, was the guidance counselor.
Huh.
And boy, I wanted to be a guidance counselor. And so once I got into recovery and saw the staff in what they did, I liked what they did. And for me, that was like a guidance counselor.
Sure.
So that's how I got into the field. And I believe, I don't know if this is all in my mind, that I'm really good at it and I'm a natural at it. So it was, on some level, it was easy for me to do this work, although the difficulty was learning to do it naturally. And initially I felt like I was on stage or on camera, mm-hmm. and it was difficult for me to have natural conversations with people, especially when I was being monitored by a supervisor or being filmed to look at your technique.
Yeah.
But over time, I was able to figure out my own groove and what worked for me and created my own style.